it's Carrington with Real Dudes Podcast, coming at you with another episode of Real Thoughts. Now, this episode, Donovan and I will be talking about what we want to see in the next generation of consoles, in the light of the recent announcement of the PlayStation 5 and what Sony recently released. So what do we want to see? Listen and find out. Don't forget, if you like what you see and hear, don't forget to comment below what your own thoughts are. This is an interactive situation after all. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. We want everyone to know what you guys think. Enjoy. So Donovan,
Yeah.
I figure, the PS5 was recently officially announced with some of its features.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in honor of that, what would you like to see come next generation? What's your dream thing to see in a console?
Dream thing I'd like to see in a console. I thought about it because I had to think a long time about it. Because we had, when the GameCube came out, it's pretty much the same thing. There wasn't anything too special about the GameCube except it was small and the discs were like this big. And then when it moved over to the Wii, like Nintendo Wii, that was the first time where I thought things were progressing. But it just reminds me of like a Freddie W. video about the Wii. I don't know why that's funny. It shouldn't be that funny. But I like the Wii controllers in a genuine fashion. I'm genuine about this one. I like the Wii controllers. It was really simple. And I liked all the different unique things that you could try with them. So I thought, oh, that's really neat. Then there was... I didn't really play the Wii U. I think that was the console I skipped. Xbox was Xbox, and the PlayStation was continuing on, and the Switch came out, and that kind of changed the game with having a console is portable. So it was a really hard thing to think about the possibilities. But I think it's like having all the consoles have VR integration at this point. I kind of hate that now all the consoles have a VR edition, so on top of spending money for the console, controller, the games, then you have to spend more money to grab the VR headset. So that was the thing I really wanted to see in the next generation is integrated VR, because I'm just a regular consumer. We all don't like to spend money on extra things unless we really would like it, or unless for whatever reason we just have a couple $100 laying around doing nothing and then we go buy something. So that's what I would like to see.
So
integrated VR.
When you say integrated VR, do you mean like every single game has VR, or it's an option that you can have with your game?
That's a good question. I would have to say an option. I wouldn't think that everybody would want to do VR, but would rather have it included with the console with the option to do it in each game. So each game is at least VR compatible, and then it's up to you. Want to use the VR headset or not? Because there are a few games I want to play in VR. No Man's Sky is one of them. I really want to play that in VR, but I just don't have the funds to grab a VR set and then try it out. And that's really it. There are a couple of flight sims, I guess. Like Microsoft Flight Simulator. In addition with Microsoft Flight Simulator, there's War Thunder, the free flight sim. I mean, that game looks incredible. I just really want to know what it looks like in VR. But even that would be short-lived for those two things. But I would really want to like do No Man's Sky or something like that.
Do you think it's better for a game to integrate VR where the person's maybe sitting down with the controller in hand a la No Man's Sky?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think it's better for something more interactive, like the way the Oculus is, where you have these two basically controllers in hands and that's how you move around the world and stuff? Or even now Oculus has it to where you don't need controllers. It senses your hands now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like the Oculus way. I've played with the Oculus. What was it called? Total Recall was the game I played in VR, and I think having those hand controllers immerse you in the world, and that's what I think VR wants you to do, is be immersed in the world. So I really like those controllers instead of just having like a pad, as our friends in the UK say. And I'm going to start using that because it's easier. You grab a pad, a controller. Yeah, I like the hand controls a lot better because, like, when you reach out, like when you let go of it, the hands of the thing knows which fingers let go, and it's insane. So I really like those controllers instead of just having the one where you sit down. So yeah, I like the more interactive stuff, especially like when we have games like the Darth Vader Immortal or whatever. I can't remember the title of the game.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's no sit down, have a control in your hand and do it. It's you got to get in it. And like hypothetically, if what is it called? I had a long day at work, so my brain is shot.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order?
Yeah, Fallen Order. Like, hypothetically, if that were on the next gen, I would rather have that, like, in VR. I guess you would have to have the option of first person or third person, because you could sit down and play it on a pad or whatever. But it would be amazing to do the hands. Like, stand up and do it, right? Who doesn't want to stick out their hand and then have force powers emanate from it? Or holding a lightsaber, or a blaster. For those of us that like blasters. It's a lot of fun.
So I guess my final question is, next gen, what's your dream game to play on next gen? And for your case, VR to experience the next gen, the next level.
Ooh. That's a big question. Well, you're going to probably have to edit this out for how long I may have to think about it. I wasn't prepared for that question. A VR video, if I could have any game in VR, dream game in VR.
And it has to come out next gen. Like that's since staying on topic. The only reason I threw in the VR part is because that's what you wanted.
Yeah, so does it have to be released already?
No, it doesn't have to be released already. It could be
like
a game, just a game. Either
a concept of a game.
A concept, yes.
Okay, a concept of the game. I would really enjoy like a full sci-fi story. It can be Star Wars, doesn't have to be Star Wars, but it can be Star Wars. But I would love to have like 100-hour open world-ish story-driven like sci-fi or Star Wars game. It don't have to be mind-blowing. I'm not talking about how sci-fi is as of recently, where everything is for the most part realistic in terms of this is how things could actually happen or could actually look. It looks too dingy. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking more of 60s, 70s, and even a little bit of 80s, touching 90s, like sci-fi. Something that blows your mind and that looks incredible. Even, I guess, the most recent one, like Interstellar, even though it was kind of based in reality, there was a lot of visuals and a story that was just blew your mind. So that's what I would like as a dream VR game. Most likely Star Wars. But that in VR. 100-hour campaign. Do it. All right, Carrington, so same question to you. Next gen, what do you want to see in the next gen release? We're already getting spotty info from Sony, their new release. What do you want to see?
So, I know a lot of people are gonna say, I want my graphics to be better. I don't care about graphics. Gameplay means a little bit more to me. Although, with games looking better and better each year, that's a plus. That we get to experience.
It's a bonus.
It is a bonus. Yes. But I think that with that, people don't realize how much space that kind of stuff takes up, and yada yada yada. But that's not my point. Because I expect that every year. Graphics are going to be better. Most powerful console ever created.
60 frames per second.
60 frames per second. 120 frames per second. 4K. 8K.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Where does it end?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that the technology is always going to continue. But something I really, really want to see and see something kind of just hone in. You know, I think on live, that whole thing was nice in concept. It just didn't work very well. I had on live, and I think the biggest problem was lag and lack of friends. So those are the two things. Now with next gen, I would love to see them because they have the technology, they have the power, and they have the servers in place to implement that with their systems, like a remote play kind of thing. You know, I see them kind of sort of coming out with it now. It may or may not be a thing. PS4 remote play is kind of a thing. It's not fully complete though. Xbox's release has said that they're going to come out with their own version of that. And I'm like, guys, come on, next gen, I want to see it perfected. You know, I want to be able to say, you know, we're at your apartment right now. Maybe we're hanging out and we're just kind of chill. It's kind of downtime, you know. Maybe I can get on my phone and remotely turn on my Xbox and play it on my phone.
Okay, yeah, I can see the usefulness of that.
Or, you know, maybe I'm at a friend's house and I was like, hey, instead of lugging an entire console over here, we can just remotely play. Let's cast it up on your TV and we can just play remotely. And I understand that that's a lot to handle. You know, my internet, their internet, yada yada yada. But how cool would it be if remote play was perfected to the point where we don't have to worry about lag, where we don't have to worry about, you know, taking our console on the go, which is why I think the Switch is one of the most perfect consoles to date.
Yes.
Because I can literally take that, play it at home, come to your place, and then be like, you know what? Let me bring the Switch over, and we can play it together. It's the perfect mobile console, and it's usually a party type situation where I take the Switch, and it's usually becomes the center point of the party. What if I could bring my games with me, not just the Switch, but more so to open it up even more? Or, you know, there's been times where I'm talking about a game that we're reviewing for the show, right?
Yeah.
I can't show it off. What if I could show it off to somebody? You know, what if, you know, not instead of just doing this YouTube thing and the podcast thing, you know, to force people to look for, what if I could go out and be like, oh, hey, this is the game we just reviewed on our show. Check it out. Hand it to that person, and then be like, oh, cool, I'm going to get this now too. How cool would that be? That would be so useful to try and spread word of mouth for a lot of people. Because you and I come into contact with a lot of people that know very little about games.
Very little about indie games.
Even more so, even those that do know games know even less than for indie games. But when I have the Switch with me, I mean, I just got Untitled Goose Game. We just received a couple codes for that.
Yeah.
I can go to a friend's house. Hey, how's that podcast doing? Oh, great. Look at this new game that I'm reviewing right now. It's Untitled Goose Game. You know, and show it off.
Okay, see, now I know where you're going with it. At first I was like, okay, remote play. You know, that's not bad. The technology is there, but it's not great.
Right.
It's not great. I've even used it. It's not great. That is a neat idea of spreading through word of mouth. Kind of getting back to, it's old school word of mouth, but it's new school.
Exactly.
Because you're showing it off.
You know, I don't know how many times I've been to a friend's house, showed off the Switch, and they went out and bought a Switch.
Yeah.
Think about that, but for the games. You know what I mean? You know, I don't. You know, Call of Duty is going to sell a bajillion copies. Madden's going to sell a bajillion. FIFA's going to sell a bajillion copies every year without people saying anything. But what about the games that people don't know? You know,
that are actually better.
That are actually improving year to year, or just improving in general. You know, we met people, you know, last week at a party, and they were like, "Hey, I played this game for the first time," and you and I were like, "What?"
Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, "What party are we talking?" Okay.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I remember. Yes.
Yeah, you remember that.
Yeah.
And you know, that person knows about video games. They love games, but not as much as we do. So they didn't play that game when it first came out.
Yeah. What year is this? It's almost been, over 6 years.
Right.
Since it dropped. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Yeah, that's not a very well-known game. I mean, in some gaming communities,
in the gaming community, it's well-known. But, like, in the casual gaming community... Nobody knows about that game. Nobody. I meet people each and every day. I have no idea what Skyrim is, and it was one of the biggest games when it came out in 2011.
Yeah, it was the biggest game that came out in 2000. Everybody talked about it. I'm starting to run into more people now that don't know about that game than I did back then, and I don't know why. It just seemed like when it dropped, everybody knew what it was. But even now, I'm running into people who don't even know what it is.
No idea what it is. Never played it. Never heard of it. What is that?
Never heard of the Elder Scrolls IP.
Right.
You know? And that's a pretty big and long-running one.
Exactly. And could you imagine if you had something like that? Like, oh yeah, I've got that on my Xbox. I got that on my PlayStation. Let me fire up my phone real quick and we can play it through there or whatever. Let me show it to you. You play it yourself.
Yeah.
And that could convince that person to get it.
Yeah, that's that's one of the old school tactics to help convince somebody to buy something is to put it in their hands. That's the first thing you do. Get the product in their hands.
Get it in their hands. Get it in. Let them play it.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the Switch is such a wonderful thing. Because like I said, multiple people have bought Switches because of me. And I'm sure it's happened to you.
You're welcome, Nintendo.
Yeah, you're welcome, Nintendo. I'm sure you've shown it off and people have gotten interested, whether they bought it or not. I don't know. But I'm sure the people watching this, they've seen that happen. Whether they like the Switch or not, they've probably seen that just growth that it's happened.
Yeah, I have shown off like Zelda and Monster Hunter. What was the other one? But yeah, in general, when people see it and they can play it for themselves,
it convinces them.
It convinces them.
Yeah.
Especially when you see them, or when they see you on docket and then play it in the handheld mode, then they're really sold.
Then they're blown
away. But yeah, that would be the greatest. That would be a great tool, especially like if you're at a con or something, and or like a convention, podcast convention, or gaming convention, having it on hand without having a console and all this equipment there. You could just be like, "Hey, check this out."
Yeah, hey, check this out. Here's what we're reviewing. Here's what we're talking about. What are your thoughts? What do you think about this?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm a vendor, and I have a game. I don't have to lug all this stuff. I can just be like, this is playing on our home office right now. Here you go.
Yeah, I mean that makes it easy.
Yeah.
And it gets it out to the people. I know, like a lot of the gaming conventions will have, like specific rooms or whatever with a finite amount of people that can get in and out at a certain amount of time. But yeah, you want people to actually play it.
Exactly. And well, as of this filming, we haven't gone to Dudettes yet in Columbus, Ohio. But when we come back, we'll discuss our experience with that. It'll be our first gaming convention. We've gone to comic conventions with gaming stuff in it. This will be our first gaming convention we'll be headed to, so I'm excited.
When is that? So
as of this recording, today is October 9th. It's this weekend, so that's the 13th. We're recording with my phone, so I can't look at the dates, but today's Wednesday. So it starts Friday. The 9th is 10.
That's pretty close.
What is that? 10, 11 through 13th. There you go.
There it is.
October 11th through 13th. We will be there the 12th and the 13th, though.
Okay, well, then that means this video's got to get out like now.
No pressure. I'll probably edit this part out. No pressure. No pressure, because I'm the one editing it anyway.
Okay. Oh, cool. So, next gen idea is the remote. What was it?
Just remote play and have it nailed down to where I can't tell the difference whether I'm playing on my phone or maybe I'm playing it through my computer. I can't tell how many times I've tried playing games on my computer or on my Xbox because that has remote play and it just doesn't work.
Yep, I've tried playing on Steam through my TV, and there's a difference.
There's a huge difference, and that's just locally. I want it to work locally seamlessly, but I want it to work globally. I understand if I'm in China or something and it's here, the odds of it working well are slim to none. But you get what I'm saying. Like I want something like that to really nail down because I think that'll be a really useful feature to take my games on the go.
Yeah, across the nation, across the world. You could throw maybe throw a clip of the Aviator, that clip in there. Just
that's
cut it in there, yeah.
I've got it, so I can do that.
You can do that. I mean, yeah, I don't think... Yeah, you could do that without getting hit.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
Yeah, so do that.
Okay.
Next gen ideas.
And once again, it's Carrington coming back at you. Just to let you know, thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and, all that wonderful stuff. Don't forget you can follow us and hit us up on Twitter at RealDudes_pod. And then you can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at RealDudesPodcast. And then you can also reach us at podcast@realdudespodcast.com.